Okay, so I'm gonna reiterate this again. I'm gonna take down that last live. I can't stand it if my sound is bad, and I always forget to turn off my Bluetooth. Which reminds me, I'm actually going to order a Bluetooth speaker with a microphone because I saw some on Amazon. I actually saw some really, really nice ones that will allow me to have my Bluetooth speaker turned on while I use the microphone to have great sound. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Let me reiterate this because this is very important. Okay. Now, my fiery wall of protection was in a slightly smaller container. I moved it over to a larger container. Okay, sis. Say hi to the chat, sis. All right. So I went ahead and moved mines over. I always put the date, that I constructed it. Okay. But this is very important. That's the only reason why I came back to re-record this because I've got tons of things to do, but we've got plenty of time. I'm not rushing. It's not a rush. The full moon is in full effect. Okay. Now, this right here, if you already have a fiery wall of protection, I am going to take this generalized petition and I'm going to make copies of it. Okay, because I have a copy machine. I'm going to make copies of it. And I am going to burn as I boost because you guys are doing your boosters today. And I'm going to boost your bottles with this protection also, not just with a candle, but I'm going to boost it with this added protection. Okay, so this will be standard and included in all of my fiery wall of protections because, thank you, sis, because what I noticed is that from the moment that I did you guys' fiery wall, it was like instant relief. And this is not just fiery wall of protection oil. This is alchemy. It produces an extremely large infernal type of flame. So the fiery wall of protections, I always use them in addition to any reversals that I need to do. And I always use them in addition to any protection rituals that I do as well. However, what I noticed is that after you guys had immediate relief, a lot of you guys were still getting these messages from the enemies because one way that they do, and we call this like the back door, and they've been doing this for years, is that they will tap in to your psychic gifts using either meditation, some of them use frequencies, some of them are using drugs like DMT, just so that they can access you. Now, some of your enemies have psychic gifts, okay? They have real psychic gifts, but they use them for bane. They use them to target you, okay? So empathy is connected to the heart chakra and the mind. Telepathy is connected to the mind. This gives them access. So one way that they are controlling and manipulating you whenever they want. And for some of them, they're controlling and manipulating not only you, but then the people around you. Okay. So what I did was I wrote out this petition. And as I explained earlier, I put 1111 on it, 2023. Okay. Probably about July, I'm going to start using 1111 2024. Okay. But 1111 2023. But then I reinforced it with this particular date. And what I wrote on the petition is by the power of this fiery wall, no enemy using psychic powers, gifts, or meditation or drugs of any kind can access. And I just went ahead and put a line because I'm going to fill in you guys' name there. Um, and so it'll be no enemy of any kind can access so and so's astral, psychic, telepathy, or empathy, or mind, body, and spirit to control, monitor, channel, manipulate, or control. And then I put, for so and so, or anyone close to or around you, okay, for any purpose, any enemy who means harm or bane of any kind is forbidden. Okay, that's a very powerful word. From using psychic powers at all, now or ever. And then so and so will only hear or sense psychic messages from trusted spirit guides now and forever. And so, as I explained in the other one, you don't have to be tapped in to them. If you are constantly tapped in to what enemies, in particular psychic enemies, are saying or doing, what that does is that takes your mind, it takes your time, it takes your life, because you're constantly, and I know a lot of people feel empowered by that, but that doesn't give you power. It doesn't. It's not good for you to constantly be tapped in and in communication with someone that has something against you. Some of these people will stay in meditation. Some of them do group meditations using frequencies. Some of them are just using the internet, okay, to where they will all attack at once, okay? But a lot of times it's because they're having access to your mind. What they are doing when they do this is they are blocking you from communication from your ancestors. They are blocking communication to your spirit guides and deities, and they are blocking communications to the universe, to your money, to your love. You can't communicate with Venus, you can't communicate with Jupiter, you can't communicate with Neptune. They are actually blocking, and they are doing it on certain days. They do it hardcore on certain days. So what this will do, and all of my fiery wall of protections will include this. Like I said earlier, I'm going to reinforce something on the back that anybody that is doing that, because what they will do is they will target you, right? They will target you. And a lot of you guys, what they're doing is they're, especially if they know something that you've went through or they have information about you, they will start to try to replay bad memories so that you can't focus on your life and you can't focus on the future, so that you'll have anxiety, so that you'll always feel despair because you're constantly getting these negative messages. They will even sometimes pose as spirit guides. So this will cut this out. It will clear your head. And I believe my spirits want me to write on the back to reinforce this, that if they attempt to do this, that their spiritual gifts are going to be blocked for a certain amount of time, maybe even forever. It depends. If somebody has been using psychic powers against you to harm you for, let's say, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, then perhaps their spiritual gifts should be blocked completely for a certain amount of years. Since they want to use these psychic gifts and psychic powers to harm you for years and years at a time. Okay, that way you can focus. Listen, you do not have to hear everything that they say, everything that they do. I am very psychic, very telepathic, very empathic. I can even see people's rituals, okay? And so basically, whenever an enemy was doing work, wishing death on my children, trying to light death candles and coffin spells on my babies, I would pick up on that. And it kept me in a constant state of war. My spirit guide said, hey, you already know what kind of evil they up to. You don't need to hear that every day. If they getting ready to do something that's detrimental, we'll let you know. Because you're not going to have a life if a person is obsessed with you. If a person has an intention to do harm to you, they're going to stay in that psychosis for years. Where is your life going while you're constantly in communication? So basically, this is going to block communication to them. They can't communicate with you, and they don't need to. Because if you walk away from a person, or if you get away from a person that did harm to you, abused you in any kind of way, guess what? They figured out a way to get into the back door. Okay, so this is going to block them from your astral. It's all being done. In fact, some of your enemies, They don't even use candles. Maybe sometimes they will use skull candles and do scully work on you. This will block out skull work too. But in the fiery wall of protection, it's already written in there that you're protected from their witchcraft. So basically, this takes it a step further to block them. Trust me, you do not need to hear them all day. It'll just keep you in their consciousness. You don't want to be in their consciousness. This is how they're stealing your life. They're stealing your time. This is the reason why you wake up in the morning and you don't feel right. They can interrupt your sleep. This is the reason why they're using psychic gifts. Okay, so I am going to put some kind of incentive on the back for y'all enemies because, like I said, my printer, if I need to print something, I can print out multiple pages and it will print it front to back. So I can do two-sided, okay? I just tore the paper in half, but, we'll do it two-sided because I don't want to have to write this again, okay? So I'm going to write on the back some kind of incentive. If they try to do that, if they sit down, they set an intention, they wake up in the morning, they decide, oh, I'm still obsessed with this person. They don't know how to take responsibility for their obsession and walk away and forget about you, right? They don't want to let you go. They literally want to be a mind parasite and they want to enslave your mind. If they make a decision to do that, it's going to be consequences. So I'm going to write the consequences. Headache, dizziness, whatever it is that we need to do. For them to lose their mind is going to be some kind of... Now, keep in mind that whenever we create one of these witch bottles, we are creating a spirit or either many spirits. So if they do that, then this fiery wall is going to invoke itself. It's going to invoke itself, and it is going to give those people consequences for what they're doing. Okay? That's just all it is to it. So if you guys already have a fiery wall, I'm getting ready to clear away my space. I'm going to boost them one by one. Okay? That way I don't have all that heat in here because this room feels good. The temperature in my room feels good. So I'm going to boost them individually. And then if you get a fiery wall in the future, this will be standard in all of my fiery walls of protection. That way you can live your life. That way your mind will be free. You know? All right, guys, I'm sorry about the audio. I'm going to order that. I'm going to go ahead and order that from Amazon. I want to get it because I like to have my Bluetooth speaker on while I'm listening to videos and stuff. But they've got some that have a microphone on it. So I'm going to get one of those. That way I don't have to repeat videos, okay? But I got to go, okay? Y'all have a wonderful day. Have a happy full moon. Blessed be.